Welcome to Cheatlayer, where in this mini course, I'm going to go through the setup and onboarding process, most notably the interactive automated onboarding. And let's get started with step 1, install the Google Chrome extension for Cheatlayer. Now, all you have to do is click that and then click Add to Chrome. It's very important that you are actually logged into Cheatlayer in order for this to work. So go ahead and add this to Chrome. We'll click Add Extension. And then up here at the top, we'll see that Cheatlayer has been added to Chrome. Now, while it is added, I'm going to make sure that I actually pin this, and we'll just click the pin there, and then we'll drag this all the way up here to the top, and it's going to open up Cheatlayer, and we are good to go. Let's exit out of that, and let's get started with moving on to step 2. Now, first and foremost, I will say that they're currently doing this schedule onboarding call, and when I hover over all of this stuff, you see we get the option now to add to the cheat. If I want to turn this off, I just come up here and then I can turn it back on. Just that simple. Now down here on the interface, we have no code, we have code, which this is the actual code. You'll see this in a little bit. And then we have the website where that has the hovering abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I did go through this onboarding call yesterday, and I was very fortunate to get in. And I'm making this video course not only to help me, I would highly recommend, no matter what, if you can get on a call with Demian. He is very knowledgeable, he knows the tool, and it was a fantastic experience, wonderful value, and I could not recommend it more. It's an absolute must. However, if for some chance you can't, I'm making this mini course. It's going to help me learn it a little bit better and hopefully help you in the process. So let's go ahead and click here to get started with the automated onboarding. So step 1 is open the no code interface. Now I'm going to turn on the Cheatlayer here. And then as I hover over this stuff, we've kind of been over this, but we have our no code, our code, and our website. Now, when we're on the website, we can hover over different things, but when we're on the no code, we're going to essentially have no code options here. We have our console output down here, a scheduled cheat, frequency, hour, website, and remove. So you could come down here and this is going to be a little bit more advanced and a little bit later on. But inside the code, you're going to get the ability to write your code, do whatever. We might have to debug a little bit, and that is where that tab will come into play. But the two things that I wanted to point out before anything else is when you're in the no code or the code, you do get this file up here at the top where you can create a new cheat, you can run your cheat, you can save it to save as, or you can generate some GPT-3 code. So I'm going to click the website here, and I'm going to scroll down, and then all we're going to do here is we're going to print this link right here to the console. So if I click add cheat, then it will simply open up the different types of action that we can do. And then up here at the top, we have our attributes, which are ID, class, style, enter text. Now, I'm no coding person. I don't understand coding, so I'm not 100% clear on all of this. But what I am clear on is how to get through step 1. So we're going to select print to console, and then we're going to see this right here. If I drag this around, that is our action. And then here we'll see cheat onboarding 1. This is just a print to console thing. We can hold Control R or we can click File and then Run to execute the cheat. So if I click File and Run, you'll see running script. Hover over this cheat and hold Shift plus Enter. That's exactly what that link says. So that's the conclusion of step 1. Let's move on to step 2. So let's move on to step 2, where we're going to fill forms with GPT-3. So I'm actually going to hover over this right here, and you can click Shift Enter, but what I prefer to do is hit Add to Cheat. And again, I'm in the website version right now. You could be in the code or the no code, but the website's my preferred way as a non-coder. So if I click Add to Sheet, we're going to set this as a value. And let's say that my value, and right here you'll see the box. I can click this, and then it brings up the elements, and the endpoint input is what we need to actually fill in. Let's say we wanted to log into a website and I wanted to put my email in here. I can go ahead and enter, and I can go to File, Run. And what should happen is it populates. Right there's my email address, and it's all using code. So if I come down here to the code and click in, what I should see is the code populate. And then let's say I wanted to edit this code. And instead of going back to that input, I wanted to actually type hello world. Well, I can do that there. And then I can come up here to the top. I can File, Run, or I could hold Control R and it's going to run that code. If we go back here, we'll see it now says hello world. This is step 2, fill forms with GPT-3. Let's move on to step 3. Step 3, scrape data to Google Sheets. This is where the real fun begins. We're going to be writing some code with GPT-3. So I'm going to highlight this sentence here. This is the command that we're going to give GPT-3. It's natural language. It says collect all rows on the page and send them to Google Sheets. And I'm going to come down here to the no code button and then navigate up to the top left under File, Generate GPT-3 Code. And I'm going to paste that sentence in right here. We're just describing the automation we want in natural language. And what this is doing is it's going to collect all the rows on the page and send them to Google Sheets. So if I click Generate, it's going to go ahead and generate that code. But to make this work, we're actually going to need, and there is the code right there, but you'll see it says replace right there. We're going to need a webhook URL, and we're going to paste that in the replace in order to transmit that data from the sheet, the rows on the page, to Google Sheets. So if I come back to the website and scroll down, you'll see that they recommend Pabbly, Zapier, if then that. You can also use something like Integromat or Integrately, any of those different webhook style automation providers. I'm actually using Connexit, and today we're going to go ahead and create a Connexit, and I'm going to drag the webhook in. So if I drag this in and copy the URL, then we can navigate back to Cheatlayer and go into the code, double click over the replace, and make sure, by the way, that there are 2 apostrophes on either side. And then we're going to paste in that URL, again, making sure that the apostrophe is on the left and the right. Otherwise, the code won't execute properly. And then we're just going to Control R or go to File, Run. Now, running this script isn't going to do anything unless we actually capture our webhook response. So I'll navigate back to Connexit, I'll capture the webhook response, and then I'll come back and I'll run it one more time. And it's going to bring the actual data in. So the next step we're going to need is a Google Sheet. And there's the data there. And there is the row from the page. So the code works. We need to navigate, though, to a Google Sheet. And I like to give my sheets a title. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say row title. And then you could also say like data here if you wanted to scrape more than one thing or said more than one thing. And we'll navigate back to Connexit and I'll drag in Google Sheets module. And I will go ahead and create a new row. So we're going to create spreadsheet row, and we're going to select our spreadsheet. I've given it the name Cheatlayer Demo, and then under to sheet 1. Now we're going to make sure that our 2 titles are there, and all we have to do is connect the data that we want into wherever we want it. And once we do that, we can test and review, and it looks like it was sent. And we can go ahead and publish this. And once it's published, we'll go back to the sheet and we'll see that it has been sent there. We can go back to Cheatlayer and we'll run the code one more time and we'll go back to the sheet. And right there, we get all of the different information. And it appears to be working. So we'll go ahead and move on to step 4. Step 4, save data and link generations. Now we're going to send the title dog treat and the description, my dog's favorite treat, to Google Sheets using a new action called local variable. So to get started, I'm in the website mode and I'm going to hover over the title dog treat and I'm going to click add to sheet. Now here I'm going to save this as a variable. So if I click that, it'll bring up our save variable right here. And we'll see our variable name is title. Now it's important to point out the title variable name because we're going to be commanding that title variable name a little bit later with GPT-3 code. But for now, I'm going to navigate back to website and I'm going to hover over the description. I'm going to add that sheet, save that variable, and then here is our second variable. So now we have 2, and notice the variable name here is underscore description. Now we're ready to actually write some code. So let's come back to the website and I'll scroll down and we'll copy the quote below and paste to the GPT-3 prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, copy, and then navigate to the code. And then up at the top, we're going to generate GPT-3 code. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. Again, it's sending the variables title and description to Google Sheets. So we're going to need to navigate to Connexit, and there is our codes. It's created the code now, and where it says replace, we're going to need to actually paste in the webhook URL. So let's navigate back to Connexit, and I'm going to create a Connexit, and I'm going to drag a webhook onto our canvas, and I'm going to copy that code while also going ahead and capturing the webhook response. Now back inside Cheatlayer, I'm going to double click over replace. I'm going to paste it, again ensuring that the 2 apostrophes are on both sides of the URL, and we're ready to run our code. So I'm going to come down here to File, Run, and it looks like I'm getting an error. Maybe that was from earlier, something that I had done, but it's running the script right here, so we should be good to go. Let's navigate back to Connexit, and the data was received, and there we'll see the title and the description. So at this point, I need to go into Google Sheets, and I'm on Sheet 2 this time, and I'm going to give it a title and a description, and we're going to navigate back to Connexit, and we're going to drag our Google Sheet in. We're going to create a spreadsheet row. We're going to select our Cheatlayer demo spreadsheet, and this time we're going to select Sheet 2. I'm going to simply drag the title to the title and the description to the description, and I'm going to test and review. The data has been sent to the Google Sheet. I can go ahead and save and publish this, and if I go back, we'll see that now we have title, dog treat, description, my dog's favorite treat. And if I delete that out and go back into Cheatlayer, and we'll go ahead and run our code one more time, going to the Google Sheet, we should see it actually populate. And right there it goes. And if we want to do it 3 or 4 times to make sure that it's working, I clicked it a few times there. And what we should see is each time that I click it, there it is transmitted into Google Sheets. So that is the end of step 4. Let's move on to step 5. Step 5, run cheat codes. Cheat codes is a library of pre-built scripts you can immediately start using. Today we're going to start by navigating to Screenshot Cheat Code, and I'm going to go ahead and open this in a new window or a new tab, and we're going to run this on Cheatlayer up here at the top. Now they do have a video for each of their cheats in their library, and up here at the top, if I go ahead and open that in a new tab, we'll see all of the cheats currently available. So they have the Amazon product scraper, the rental scraper from Zillow. I won't read all of these to you. You can have a look, and we're going to go ahead and install Run on Cheatlayer. So back inside step 5, on the right side under our Cheatlayer panel, we'll see that we have a screenshot module now enabled. Now, if I want to hover over this link and hold Shift plus Enter, it will open up our action types. I can select screenshot, and that's going to bring the screenshot right here. If I select that, I could scroll down and go into the code, and we should see the actual code right there, and I can File, Run, and it's going to take a screenshot of that link that we had selected. Right there is the screenshot element, and right there it says hover over this link and hold Shift to take a screenshot. So that's an easy way to screenshot a particular element using Cheatlayer. Now, how else could we do this? I'm going to go ahead and delete this out, and I'm going to navigate up to File, and I'm going to generate some GPT-3 code. Now, using the GPT-3 code generator, I can describe in natural language that we want to run a script called screenshot on google.com, and let's go ahead and generate that, and it should write the code, and it's essentially going to take a screenshot of google.com once we run this. So you can call there we go with Google, and then it takes the screenshot, and that's the web page screenshot. So you can call your cheats using GPT-3 rather easily with natural language. And it is a little bit of a learning curve or a trial and error experiment when you're using natural language to call GPT-3. However, the more you use this tool, the more familiar you'll get with the GPT-3 prompts and navigating that code. Let's move on to step 6. Step 6. Post to Facebook groups. Now this step is optional, but we're going to add the group poster cheat code to your cheat list by navigating here and simply clicking Run on Cheatlayer. Cheatlayer. So now that we've added the group poster cheat code to our Cheatlayer list, we can actually run this, and I can come in and click run, and it's going to prompt you for a Google Sheets URL. Now we'll get this URL from right here, Control C to copy that, or I can click copy just like that. And if you want to paste in the URL just to see kind of what we're actually doing here, and if we open it up, it has a URL to the Facebook group that we're going to be posting in, as well as what we're going to actually be saying, which is just finished my interactive Cheatlayer onboarding. Please grant me pre-approval to post in this group. So if I navigate back to Cheatlayer and I actually want to run this, then I'll come up here and I'll run it. I'll paste in that URL and then I'll click OK. And once I do that, what it should do is actually open up the group, and it's going to go ahead and create that post. And it does take a little bit of time here, but it'll say your post has been submitted and is pending approval by an admin or moderator. But this is a fantastic way because you can actually schedule this and we can post, whatever we want on a particular day. That is the group poster cheat, and that will conclude our automated onboarding for Cheatlayer. My name is Scott with aiPROFITz.com. I'm going to get out of here now, but I hope you're subscribed on our YouTube channel. yt.aiPROFITz.com will navigate you there, or you can sign up to the email list, and I'll be sharing mini courses like this over the course of the next year and onward, because I think these mini courses are fantastic ways to learn a tool, get more familiar, teach myself, and hopefully share some of the love with you along the way. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.